and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about GIDLE's I Feel storyline, focusing on a little breakdown of Allergy and Queencard to see what they can tell us about the story told in this comeback. Allergy and Queencard are songs both written and co-composed by Soyeon. As the pre-release and title track of the album, the songs are at the center of the I Feel original series, which is a high-teen satirical comedy about a girl with very low self-esteem. Surrounded by pretty friends who are all more popular than her, the protagonist of the story goes on a quest to become a Queencard. She wants to be pretty, she wants to be envied, she wants to be famous, but soon enough she discovers that the life of a Queencard is far from perfect. Starring IDLE themselves, the story shows both sides of the same coin. In Allergy, for instance, they talk about the self-hatred and insecurity of a person all too influenced by social media. The protagonist compares herself to idols, influencers, and because of that she develops mirror allergy because she hates that their reflection doesn't look like them. In Queencard instead, they dismantle that very ideal, not only by criticizing the extreme measures that people take to fit the beauty standard, but also by showing that a true Queencard is a girl who is confident in her own skin. As Soyeon explained, the message of the album is that everyone has struggles, no matter how perfect their life looks on social media. Because of that, it's damaging to compare yourself to those images, because they are portraying an ideal that they don't even fit. It's not a matter of who is better than who. We are all on the same boat having the same insecurities and struggles, so it's best to overcome them together rather than to face them alone. Like you might feel pretty or sexy, you might also feel ugly or blue from time to time, and this is a feeling that everybody shares. If you feel like that, I don't feel you, because they went through it just as much as you. Since they're idols, they're supposed to be Queencards people look up to, and they are, but that doesn't mean that they don't understand what it feels like to have mirror allergy. They too have moments where they dislike themselves sometimes, and they too are constantly pressured by the standards promoted on social media. In the story, however, IDLE convey the message that we shouldn't fall for these baits. The only cure to this allergy is not to buy a new face or pretend to be somebody we are not, but rather to embrace the beauty of the face we already have and just be ourselves. As we'll see in a second, the story has a very specific definition of what a Queencard is according to society. A Queencard is a woman who is pretty, has sexy lips and hips, wears fabulous lingerie, and is always very confident. She's the one who twerks on the runway, she's the hot topic everywhere she goes, and she celebrates every day as if it was her birthday. Now, even if there's nothing inherently wrong in doing all that, what is wrong is to think that having these attributes is the only way to be happy and successful. The story told in this comeback is meant to be satire. It's a parody, so the whole point is not that we should do everything it takes to become a Queencard, but rather that we already are a Queencard the way we are. This is a lesson that the protagonist of our story only learns after going through a lot, so let's start from the beginning to see what's going on. Now, the I Feel original series begins with a video of Wookie introducing us to her friend group. In the story, she's a cool tomboy with a lot of social media following, and as we later see in Allergy, she works with Shua at the I Feel lingerie store. While Wookie has a very cool and approachable personality, her best friend Shua is the perfect combination of lovely and hot. In true Mean Girls fashion, she loves celery, she likes nail art, and her favorite hobby is to listen to music on her back. According to Shua herself, her character is the life of the party living in a 4D world, and in the story she also gives lectures on how to be a Queencard. The next member of the posse is Minnie, who is described as the hot and cool trainer. Like Wookie and Shua, she's social media famous, but her biggest passion is fitness, which is a topic she's obsessed with. According to her intro, Minnie's character is born to be confident. She attracts a lot of male attention, she's full of herself, and she's perfect in everything, which, as we'll see in a second, will cause a lot of trouble with Mion. Speaking of which, Mion's character is the princess of the group. She's a mysterious influencer who shows her life on social media, but still would like to keep some secrets to herself. Even if she looks perfect on the outside, the character hides some sorrow and pain in her heart, but that doesn't stop her audience from wanting to be like her. Last but not least, we meet SY, which is the protagonist of our story played by Soyeon. In Wookie's introduction, she's described as somebody who's nothing special and probably has some kind of complex. While Wookie plots to give her a makeover, SY herself is sick and tired of hating herself, so she makes the decision to become a Queencard like the others. The day after the dinner, both plans seem to get in motion. Wookie calls Shua to involve her in the makeover, and SY decides to sign up for a course on how to be a Queencard. In more ways than one, Swa is a character that embodies the message of allergy. She's someone who already suffers from low self-esteem, but the issue gets worse the moment she starts comparing herself to the Queencards she sees on Instagram and TikTok. In the fake world of social media, all the girls are pretty, sexy and lovely. Their makeup is always on point, their outfits are always trendy, they always advertise expensive stuff, and like many girls around the world, Swa feels miserable because she looks nothing like them. When she compares herself to these perfect girls, she hates herself because her photos look ugly, her outfits are bad, and even her personality is not as cool as the Queencards. Even if she wants to dance high boy, she ends up looking like a tomboy, and she's sure that the boys will laugh at her for even trying. Now, since I've seen a lot of insane takes about these lines, I need to clarify that in the song, I-DLE are not mocking new jeans, and they're not criticizing the media. The lyrics reference high boy because right now new jeans are the it girls of the industry, and everybody and their mother dances to high boy because it's trendy. In this context, new jeans represent the ideal of femininity everybody wants to reach, including the protagonist of Allergy. She would like to look pretty and feminine dancing to high boy, but since she has low self-esteem, she thinks that she would look more like a tomboy, which is obviously a reference to GIDLE's own song. In Allergy, the speaker points out that if she tried to dance high boy, the boys would laugh at her for having stronger and more traditionally masculine attitude. More than anything, these lines are a critique to gender norms and beauty standards. On one hand, high boy is the reference for the ideal of popular and feminine girlhood. They are dainty, they're pretty, they're cute, and everybody likes them. Tomboy, on the other hand, represents a louder and grittier type of womanhood, which can be a source of mockery because it's more aggressive in nature. In this original series, the main problem is that the beauty standard is strict, so unless you fit into it, you have no chance to become a Queencard. The thing is that this standard is close to unreachable because in the title track, the Queencard is both cool and sexy like Kim Kardashian and pretty and cute like Ariana Grande. These two figures not only represent two contrasting ideals of beauty, but they're also very well known for changing their appearance very often. A Queencard is to be thin and thick at the same time, cute but also hot, tan but also pale. You have to be a natural beauty, but the natural standard that's being pushed by social media can only be achieved with surgery, so it's no surprise that people hate themselves. They're comparing themselves to an unreachable ideal, and this is also why in the story the Queencards themselves are never satisfied with their life. As we follow Swa's quest, we see that their attempts at fitting in get increasingly worse and worse. Following Uki's makeover plan, she first goes to the Eiffel store in order to buy sexy lingerie. Uki and Shua show her a lot of pieces, advise her on how to be a Queencard, and Swa eventually buys the bra even if she doesn't like it. Despite of that, she persists, so in her second glow-up attempt, she goes to Shua's lecture on how to be a queen. On the blackboard, we see a reference to Marilyn Monroe, which is the ultimate Queencard, but also the inspiration behind nude. While Shua explains how important it is to be pretty, sexy and lovely, however, Swa runs away the moment the attention falls on her. In her last and most extreme attempt, the girl goes to the doctors to undergo plastic surgery. She provides a collage of all the Queencards she envies on social media, and the doctors estimate a total of 10k for a brand new face. Swa at that point runs away once again, but a vision of Minnie convinces her to stay. Queencard Minnie tells her that she can be just like her, so when Swa sees the amazing life of her friends on social media, she turns around and decides to go under the knife. In Allergy, it's pretty clear that even if Swa thinks she wants to be a Queencard, in reality she doesn't really want it. She forces herself to buy clothes that make her uncomfortable, she forces herself to look for attention even if she hates receiving it, and she forces herself to get a new face despite of the price and the pain. She does all that because she thinks that that's the only way she can be beautiful and successful, but this cannot be further from the truth. As we follow the other characters, it's pretty clear that this is a battle you can never win. Queencard Mion, for instance, is a beautiful influencer with millions of followers and expensive stuff to show off. She does unboxing videos of luxury items, she's in perfect shape, living in a great house and wearing amazing clothes, but despite of all that, her boyfriend still danced her to go after Minnie. In the spoiler videos, we saw that this tomboy first invited Mion to the party and then dumped her to invite Minnie instead. In Allergy, Mion discovers the truth while she's hanging out with Uki and Shua, so after they comfort her, they decide to dress up and go to the party anyway. Even if on social media they seem to be having the time of their life, this is not really true, because at the party they all end up having a terrible night. Mion is sad because Tom showed up with Minnie. In turn, Minnie might have gotten the boy, but is friendless and lonely nonetheless. Uki and Shua get overshadowed by two models, and even if they're besties, Shua immediately befriends them, leaving Uki by herself. In the introduction, Uki revealed that she wanted to be more like Shua, and in Allergy we see that this jealousy is taking over, because Uki is not only jealous that her bestie ditched her, but also that she's more popular than her. On top of that, in Queencard, Uki and Shua also show some roommate behavior, so to speak, so Uki's jealousy might also be romantic in nature. All of this, however, doesn't really transpire on social media, so as the Queencards have to deal with their own drama, SY the wannabe tells the doctors that she wants to be just like them. The truth of the matter is that SY is fine the way she is. In the video, every Queencard takes an L from time to time, so their life is far from perfect. Mion tries to copy Minnie, Minnie's channeling Ariana, while Shua and Uki get rejected in their own right. SY, however, doesn't know this, so Allergy ends with her getting anesthesia to undergo plastic surgery. In Queencard, the story continues right from this point, but the entire video is a clever mix between reality and a drug-induced fantasy. As we follow the Queencards slaying around town, Minnie, Mion, Uki and Shua transform into SY because this is none other than the dream she's having while under anesthesia. In her fantasy, she stops traffic. She's the life of the party. People want her or want to be her, and for the first time ever, she's satisfied by her reflection because it looks exactly like the Queencards she envied up until now. While the ladies have a white chicks inspired dance-off to see who is the queenest of them all, SY's trip gets crazier and crazier. The plastic surgery center gets lit because now everybody starts to dance, from the doctors to the nurses and everybody in between. When the doctor transforms into Mion and tells her if she wants to be a Queencard, however, SY finally snaps out of it and wakes up from the anesthesia. After the insane trip she just had, the answer is no, she doesn't want to be a Queencard, so she leaves the center without touching her face. By the end, this proves to be the right choice, because as soon as she leaves, her phone blows up with notifications. As it turns out, SY really went to the party and really slayed like never before. She never needed to get plastic surgery or to make big changes, because all she needed to do was to embrace herself and have some fun. As the song tells us, anybody can be a Queencard, and you can be one as well by just being yourself. You can wear anything you want and be a Queencard. You can be thick, you can be thin, you can be whoever you want, as long as you have confidence in yourself. By the end, SY's wishes came true, not because she changed herself, but because she understood that she was enough all along. As Soyeon explained, the series holds a message that resonates with a lot of people, so if you can relate with the story, be sure that you are a Queencard no matter what. This Queencard right here, however, is losing her voice, so that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye!